Hello all you lovely people and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now this is my to buy or not to buy video where I talk about games in general and I give you my 2 cents as to what I feel about the game. Now sometimes I have the opportunity to complete games, but a lot of times I generally just game at a stretch for 3 to 4 hours, and I think 3 to 4 hours is a decent enough time to come to a conclusion whether a game is good or not, if you really want to form an opinion of a game. So that's what I do in these videos. And today in this video, I'm going to break down my experience with Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now, I'm not a big fan of the whole horror game genre. Let me just tell you that in advance so that you understand how I'm approaching this game. So with that said, let's get started with this video, and I'll tell you all the things that I like about the game and maybe a few that I didn't really like. Let's get started, folks. Silent Hill 2 Remake is a faithful reimagining of the iconic survival horror game, offering a chilling and immersive experience. Bloober Team, the team behind this game, has successfully captured the eerie atmosphere, haunting narrative, and psychological terror that made the original a masterpiece. Since this game has been out only for a few days, I do not want to give away too many spoilers, so I'm going to try and make a spoiler-free to buy or not to buy video of mine. Let me start off by talking about several improvements over the original game, including the visuals. This time around, this game gets the Unreal Engine 5 treatment, and Unreal Engine 5 makes the graphics of this game stand out. It's got more detailed environments, characters, and lighting effects. The game looks stunning, and everything just comes together beautifully, which also makes this game demanding. I was playing this on my 4070 Super GPU, and even with my 4070 Super, while I was playing this in 4K, I had to dial the DLSS down to performance to get 60 FPS. So this is a demanding game, and it goes without saying because there's just a lot of fog on screen all the time. This town of Silent Hill is filled with fog, and that makes the game really demanding. One of the other things that's different is the modernized gameplay. The controls and combat mechanics have been updated to provide a more modern and accessible gameplay experience. Even the world has been expanded now. This town of Silent Hill has new areas to explore, and there are additional puzzles to solve. And overall, the audio design has been enhanced, the fidelity has been improved, there is improved sound effects, the music is better, the voice acting is absolutely stellar. And there's also additional content because this new remake, it includes new side content such as optional boss battles and hidden areas. While the core elements of the story and gameplay remain largely unchanged, the remake offers a more refined and immersive experience overall. This remake offers a fresh perspective on the familiar story. While key moments remain intact, fans of the original will definitely notice changes in the order of events and the introduction of new areas. These alterations definitely enhance the narrative flow and add depth to the experience. Think of the remake as a continuation or a new interpretation of the endless purgatory that James may be trapped in. The game's changes aim to provide a more engaging and immersive experience while preserving the core elements of the original. Prior to this remake, the developers, Bloober Team, have also been behind games like Layers of Fear 2, which was the sequel, and even the Xbox game called The Medium, which was kind of okay. I mean, it had elements of good things, but overall I think it was a very mediocre experience. But now, with Silent Hill 2, they really have outdone themselves, and they have proven that they can masterfully reimagine a beloved classic. And this game is a testament to the original game's enduring appeal and the developer skill in updating it for a new generation. The one thing, however, that the developers have done may be a negative factor, especially for purists who stick to the original game and speak highly of the original game. And that one bit is the overextension of the exploration. Because now this game, this remake, is comparatively longer. I think it is almost double the time of the original game. So there are areas where you need to explore more. And this time around, there are even more cutscenes, given the fact that now we have access to Unreal Engine 5 and the technology. Obviously, developers can take advantage of that and create more cutscenes and give a more detailed narrative experience to the gamers. But I think that detracts purists from the game because some people may like the original pacing of the game and a very tight presentation of horror. Because sometimes the frequent cutscenes can actually take away from the experience that the original game had. Now, I've probably spoken about this in some of my past videos as well, but I've always emphasized on quality over quantity. Now, I'm absolutely fine with the game being shorter, but the game not cutting corners when it comes to delivering a very good narrative experience. Personally, to me, since I haven't really played a lot of the original game, I think I played less than 2 hours of the original game and I have very faint memory of what that was like. But the one thing that I do remember from that game was the pacing was deliberately slow. Here, I think the pacing is comparatively faster. I think that's more in line with the Resident Evil remakes, and I think the developer was definitely heavily inspired by the Resident Evil remakes. To me personally, that's a good thing. But to a lot of people, especially the purists, may actually find that a negative aspect of the game. So, some people may not like the fact that it is now longer because they have more areas to explore because it actually takes away from that original experience. So, to some, it can be tiresome. To me personally, it was absolutely fine. In fact, I liked the extended cut of the story. Having said that, I can also understand and relate with people who actually loved the original and why they would probably call the exploration bit a bit tiresome. And I think that is probably one of my only criticisms with the game, that there is a decent amount of backtracking that you need to do when you're playing this game. The game's structure is structured in such a way that you enter one particular area. There's certain things on the map which will be circled around, which is like the area of interest that you need to visit. And there are objects that you need to collect from there. And then these objects might help you solve the overall puzzle of that particular level. And once you solve it, you move on to the next level. So basically, that's how this game is designed. And sometimes there could be a little bit of backtracking, which can actually take away from the overall experience. Personally, it hit me only a few times. I understand that sometimes it can be frustrating, but that's just sometimes, yeah. And therefore, I can kind of relate with people who are concerned about why the exploration being more could be a concern. But from my personal experience, I really didn't see that as a big problem. In some areas, in some levels, maybe yes. So I do not completely disagree, but I think I would say I'm 85% on the side of more exploration than less exploration here because it's done right. And the one thing that I would also say is that it also gives you more bang for your buck. It's a more value for money experience because with this game, they've actually doubled the playtime. So you get more for your money and in a good way. This time around, the quality and quantity feels justified. And I think for a game of this quality, the visuals are great. The sound design is absolutely bonkers. The environments look really detailed and well thought after. And overall, I think the production value of this game is stellar. It's in fact a AAA title. And for a AAA title, they've charged something like a AA title because here in India, I only paid 2,800 Indian rupees. So you're paying for a AAA title, but you're paying actually for a AA title, and you're getting goods which are like a AAA title, so to speak. So from that perspective, it's definitely your money's worth. And I don't think you should even wait for a sale to get this title. I immediately downloaded this because when I saw 2,800 Indian rupees, I said it's not that expensive. Because if you compare it with something like, let's say, Star Wars Outlaws, that is at least 5,000 Indian rupees, almost double of this. And I know a lot of people have not been happy with Star Wars Outlaws. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that once I get to play that. But as far as this game goes, I think it's definitely your money's worth. So you should download this game as soon as you can. The last thing I want to touch upon is the scary factor of the game. Now, this being a survival horror game, is it scary? Now, I don't remember much about the original Silent Hill, but I do remember one fact that it had a very eerie atmosphere, something that'll give you goosebumps. And I think that continues with this remake as well. And this is scary when it needs to be scary. What do I mean by that? It does not throw jump scares at you every now and then. I think if it did, then it would lose that jump scare value. Instead, its deliberate, slow pacing works to its advantage because when it finally does give you that jump scare, man, are you gonna have goosebumps. I was playing this with my earphones on. I'll just give you one small example of how scary this can be. There was this area where I had to access and I had to grab a torchlight for the first time. And when I did, there were mannequins in the background. And there was one particular mannequin which was perfectly camouflaged with the other ones. I did not expect it to leap out to me or at me and attack me. And when it finally did, boy oh boy, I jumped out of my chair. So when it needs to be scary, it is scary. So the scare factor is definitely high with this game, but don't expect it every now and then. When it does, it works fantastically. So my 2 cents about this game, I think I've already mentioned that it's a great game. Bloober team, in fact, they've definitely done a great justice to this masterpiece. And I think that their work shows that they loved the original content. And their love for that original content shows in this remake. And I think when you have developers who are passionate about a particular project, a particular story, the quality of a particular game or a movie anyways improves. And so is the case with Silent Hill 2 remake as well. And I'm very happy to report that this is a finely done remake. It is a fantastic horror game, although I'm not a fan of this whole survival horror genre, but I think I've enjoyed whatever I played. And if you ask me whether you should buy this or whether you should not buy this or whether you should wait for a sale, I think this is a game worth getting immediately. Get this game, enjoy it, and you can share your experiences with me as well as to which levels, which stage did you enjoy the most, when did you get scared, like the example that I just shared with you. Please let me know in the comment section. It's great to talk with you. And I think that's it for this video. Before I go, if you have liked the content, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. It's a wrap for this one. I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.